Welcome to the chat, my good people. This is Blaze, your humble host. As much as some of you are of the opinion that the gender war, because it is a gender war, is a topic that is over-discussed and tired, we at the chat are keeping a finger on the pulse of society around us, and therefore beg to differ. Look, there really was a time when women were getting the raw end of most deals. But even that needs to be stated and analyzed within a long list of complex contextual factors. And women are to be applauded for their social and economical leaps forward. What is less commendable, however, is the undeniable correlation between that empowerment and evolution and the difficult-to-ignore tendencies among women, young and old, to express rather misandrist rhetorics towards boys and men. And for those among us that are still not familiar with that word, it's basically the same as misogyny, but by women against men. And let's be clear. If misogyny grew among men in the past due to their arrogant comfort in feeling superior to women, then misandry, well, I know you don't need me to finish this thought for you.
Are women more privileged than men? Yes, they are, and it's not even close. Women are loved just for existing. They get attention, compliments, protection, free drinks, doors opened for them, etc. And a man, he's invisible until he proves that he can provide, protect, perform, pay, or add value. In other words, earn your spot or disappear. Guess what? A woman can also decide if you become a dad or not. You get zero say. She's pregnant, her body, her choice, my dudes. End of story. Do you want the kid? Doesn't matter. Don't want it? Doesn't matter. 18 years of child support slammed on you without consent, and worse, she cheats. She claims the kid is yours. You raise it for years and discover that it's not yours later. Court, in many places, still force you to pay until 18 years of age. So you're screwed. One day, she wakes up unhappy, files for divorce, no proof needed, and walks with primary custody most of the time, years of child support, and many times a lifetime of alimony plus half of your assets. Oh, and she isn't required to show you that the money is actually helping your kid. It all goes to her. She can also falsely accuse you with zero consequences. She can claim assault, abuse, rape, online to the police and in court. And if it's proven a total lie, she gets a little slap on the wrist. But you lose your job, your reputation, your sanity, and you can spend years in prison even if you're innocent. The system shields her more than the truth. Men are disposable, not women. Draft registration, men only. Most workplace deaths, men. Most homeless, men. Suicide rate 4 times higher, men. The double standards never end. Man hits a woman, monster, jail. Woman hits a man, what did you do to her? Man cheats? You're trash. Woman cheats? She was just unhappy. He failed. The bottom line is, women get safety nets, sympathy, legal advantages, social worship, and endless help. Men don't. That is just the truth. Pretending that we're both equal is gaslighting half of the population. So wake up.
So I'm starting to get the pattern here. As a matter of fact, and as I look at women empowerment, I cannot help but notice a similarity with another struggle. The civil rights movement. We all know how it went. My forefathers stood up against a system that was hell-bent on keeping them down, and through years of brave revolt, victory after victory, black people in America rose to what we see of us today. And while we could arguably say that much of our contemporary behaviors would make our forefathers turn in their graves, hey, this is us for now, proudly dysfunctional. But I'm saying all that to say this. While the civil rights movement created many heroes, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, the Black Panther leadership and movement, and the list goes on, very little is said about the people without whom none of it would have been possible. And bear with me, this is going to sting some of you. I'm talking about the white folks. Yes, you heard me, and I can hear the uproar of denial through the screen already. But in an era where all levels of policymaking and decision-taking was fully locked and controlled by them, who do you honestly think was able to change those prejudiced policies? And let me add, who do you think was also in the streets with our forefathers protesting? Yes, indeed. And with that, and as we keep our eyes on our topic in gender war and women empowerment, if the same misandrist women of today were to be brutally honest with themselves and admit whom they should express gratitude toward for their many steps forward, they may blow up a fuse. But facts are facts. No one group wins on its own efforts. Allyship among whom we see as the enemy is necessary and has often been the case. But sadly, when ingratitude reaches heights resembling entitlement, arrogance, and drunkenness, well, we get realizations such as this one.
Fellas, I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, but baby, regardless of what you do, it's never gonna be enough for these booty head snips.
Damn.
Let's get into it. Women have built their whole fucking dating strategy off of moving the fucking goalposts and then blaming the man when he can't win a game that was created for him to fucking lose. A man texts or call too much, he doing too much. He don't text or call at all, he inconsistent.
Ooh.
He want to be around you, he clingy. He want to give you space, he acting different.
Damn.
He want to be around you, he moving too fast. He takes his time, then he wasting yours. What the is this? Jeez. He paid for everything, then that's what he's supposed to do. He asked you to go half with him, then he broke. Shit, I can't make this shit if I tried. And the reality is, y'all really don't see how fucking exhausting that is. I'm exhausted just making the motherfucking video. That's exhausting. Regardless of what the they do, it's never enough, bro.
Minus the cussing, I'm sure many men in the dating realm right now can agree with the sentiment expressed in that video. And by a woman, so there's definitely hope. But until that hope turns into concrete exercised healing among misandrists, this right here is the reality a lot of men face quietly.
Provoking a man until he finally breaks and then painting yourself as the victim is not just dishonest. It is one of the most damaging things you can do to a good person. You cannot disrespect him every day, belittle him when he is vulnerable, emasculate him for his limitations, ignore everything he needs, and weaponize intimacy every time you want control, and then act confused when he finally snaps. That moment did not just happen. You created it. Every dismissal, every power play, every time you mistook his calm for weakness, you were chipping away at someone who was trying his best to love you, right? Good men do not turn cold on their own. They get turned cold by women who chip away at them one disrespectful act at a time and then rewrite the story the moment he finally reacts. You trained the man you met to stop being open. You numbed someone who came to you willing to give everything. And when he finally reached his limit, you ran to social media asking where all the good men went. They did not go anywhere. You burned one out and called it his fault. You know exactly what you did.
So here we are now. After men thought they had understood the wrongs of their forefathers and therefore opened the floodgate of empowerment to all, the I don't need a man, but I do want a man culture took off. And misandry found further footing with social media and the illusion of having endless options. Men get rich and seek companionship to build further together, while feminists of this era get rich and say they need no one. Access to personal wealth, as well as the ability to seek and get endless online attention, helped all of us understand one thing about misandrist women. They always want more, and they will never be satisfied.
It's interesting to see that the hoes are mad that we caught onto their game. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Like, the TikTok is literally their internet diary. We pay attention to everything. We study, like, we just keep evolving. And that's a pretty cool thing about, men. But, yeah, it's just like, it's crazy to see that they're mad that we caught onto their game when they told us the whole game.
And this is where we actually are now. As the space of harmony between men and women continues to widen, the very platforms that have allowed misandrist feminists to spew their hatred of men, as well as to proudly display behaviors they deemed empowering, have slowly but surely turned into media through which they are showing us the cracks, no pun intended, of the results of the past few decades of misandry. Videos upon videos on TikTok, ranging from denial and anti-accountability filled "they just can't handle us women" to the more logically distressed filled "where did all men go?" Great question though. Where did they go and why?
Men who have taken a break from dating, what positive changes have you experienced?
You asked a great question, so let's talk about it. And ladies, let's be clear. Unlike the Panda Bears, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. First, men save a ton of money. Money that they can then invest in themselves rather than wasting it on expensive dates trying to meet the ridiculous expectations, high standards that today's women have. Next, they have more time and energy. Trying to date today is mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausting for men. Men have found that by walking away, they can go do things that they enjoy instead of wasting hours swiping right on dating apps or trying to get the attention of women, most of whom think that they're entitled to a 10 when at best they themselves are a 3, 4, or 5. And finally, when men give up on dating and relationships, they find the one thing that they want more than anything else. The thing they rarely, if ever, get in relationships with women. They find peace and happiness. The bottom line, ladies, is this. You can keep doing what you're doing, blaming men for anything and everything, or you can take responsibility for your actions. Acknowledge that your expectations of perfection are completely absurd and take accountability for the way you've mistreated men all these years. The choice is yours, but let's be very clear, ladies. Until you decide to choose the latter, the reality is more and more men will continue to walk away, and the likelihood that you'll end up alone is only going to increase.
So the pendulum theory remains undeniable. If misogyny led to alienating women into the pitfalls of misandry, then what do we think misandry will lead men to? Are we learning from the pendulum? Is it too late?
Don't shoot the messenger. Feminism told y'all be strong, independent, and alone. And y'all followed it to the grave. Y'all pushed all the good men away, called submission slavery, and think being difficult is cute. Now y'all 35 and tired, looking around like, oh, where the good men at? Sis, they moved on. Real men want peace, not problems in a lace front and a loud voice. Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price. Loneliness.
A tough pill to swallow, but a pill nonetheless. And like the proverbial blue and red ones, one could wonder whether men and women are hesitating between running away from the truth and facing it straight on.
Humbly, I want to offer a small correction, Mr. Jeff, on what you said. You said that it's taking women too long to know what men want. I disagree.
Okay.
I think it's taking them too long to accept what men want. They know. Women absolutely know what men want. There's a rebellious spirit. There's a defiance. There's a can't nobody tell me what to do. And the reason why I say that is because when they get to the big age, and I'm speaking as an older woman, I'm 50. When they get to this big age, usually there's the, okay, I'll submit. Okay, I'll listen. Okay, I won't have the last word. Okay, I'll be responsible with money. Okay, I'll put some clothes on. They knew that all along.
This is The Chat. We out.
I am the table.